Hello, my impatience. It is I, Andrew the Android Kolaski here, and I'm live and I'm ready to perform for all of you. How art thou? How art thou, my impatience? Uh, I am here. Your your host is here and ready to entertain you. So I hope you will come join. Hey Gina, how are you doing? You're here pretty quickly. How have you been? How have you been, Gina? It's good to see you. It's good to see you. She says she's doing okay. She asks how have I been? I'm doing aight. I'm doing aight. Hey Christopher, how are you doing? We got Christopher in the house too. How are you doing, Christopher? Five people. Wow, that's he's doing well. He's doing well. And Peter, he says, "Happy Friday, big dog. We love to see you." Yeah, I got a pretty big plan to the weekend. I'm seeing a friend on Saturday and I'm seeing a friend on Sunday. But for this evening, I don't really have too many plans. I could go to the open mic and try to perform, but I don't know if I really feel like doing that. I don't really have any plans for tonight, you know? But yeah, I think I'm gonna have a busy weekend in store for me, which is obviously a good thing. I obviously enjoy busy weekends. Gina says she's hanging out with her dog. Yeah, dogs are actually really good. They're cathartic. They're fun to play with. They're good. They're good for mental health. Dogs. Peter says chainsaw action here. What does that mean? You're using a chainsaw? Be careful. That's kind of dangerous. But I hope you. I hope you chainsaw whatever you need to chainsaw. Yeah, don't text and chainsaw at the same time. That seems like it could be a recipe for losing a limb. So, all right, I'm gonna go to some art that I created with at the art class yesterday. So I say to Squid, my white trash coworker, my stepfather is like Joseph Fritzl. I'm like Otto Warmbier, a torture victim. And Squid says the pure audacity you have to compare yourself to torture victims. It's not your situation. I say to Dr. Natural, my life has been a living nightmare. I've been solitary for 20 years. Dr. Natural says, then say that. Don't say things that are hyperbole because it only ruins your credibility. Don't exaggerate, don't embellish. Say literally, factually what happened. The next one. My mother, or actually, I say to my mother, don't talk the talk. Walk the walk and make my life happen. Take action. My mother says, you know what the best course is. Nobody needs to tell you. Push yourself. You know what your needs are. If you don't make a decision or change, at some point a decision will be made for you. And I say, if I don't take action, I'll be in group housing or assisted living when you pass away. Ultimately, I need to take action. I need to take the steps to get independent. So the last one, I'm in my 20s, I'd chat with women online and I had girlfriends, but some of the girlfriends were fleeting. But now I have nothing to offer at 38 years old. I have no money, I'm dependent on my parents, and I'm severely mentally ill. Now I've lost a lot of confidence. I feel like everyone looks at me critically. I feel like every woman is going to reject me. My social skills are awful. It's like I'm damaged. So somebody says Tara Social is in talks with Sony Records. Is that true? Or is that people trying to get rage bait me because she's using my songs? I mean, be honest. Somebody says Sony posted about it. Where? Where did Sony post about it? Somebody says people are just messing with me. Yeah, I mean, obviously, if somebody's making a lot of money from my songs, that will obviously get me upset for the obvious reasons. But I don't think anybody's ripping me off, so don't worry. Don't let these people rage bait me. Yeah, I mean, I like Tara Social. I don't consider her an enemy, but if she starts profiting from my songs and doesn't credit me as a writer, well, I mean, maybe she will become an enemy, So, don't rip off disabled adult children with less than $1,000 to their name. It's as simple as that. Brian says, trust me, there is in no world where anyone makes money off your videos. You got to focus on your finances and mental health. Don't get distracted. Yeah, I mean, obviously, the best course they say is to go to the SOAR program. It's to try to get financially independent. It's to, try to get a part-time job. Don't worry about Tara Social becoming rich off my work. That should be the least of my concerns. I mean, if she does, I mean, it'll obviously be enraging, but that's the least of my concerns at the moment. Right now, work towards getting a part-time job and going to the SOAR program. The pros program kicked me out. If I prove that I'm reliable at the SOAR program for a month, they'll let me into the pros program. All right. La 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 la. Ooh, so anybody got any questions here? Anybody got any questions? All right, let's check out what's trending on X, formerly Twitter. Somebody asks, "Do I ever feel remorse?" Yes, I feel remorse. Why do you ask? Like, what is that? Why? Who said I didn't feel remorse? Yeah, just get rid of this guy. This guy's fucking trolling me. Yeah, bye bye. I mean, he was the guy who said Tara Social was. He's trying to imply I'm a sociopath or a psychopath or a narcissist, which is not. I mean, maybe I have narcissistic preoccupations, but I'm not a sociopath or a psychopath. That's just not my diagnosis. So, it just doesn't matter. Just block the person. Don't take the bait. And besides, even if I am, let's say hypothetically speaking, I'm a sociopath or a psychopath, which I'm not. Who gives a shit? You know what I mean? What I have to suffer in solitude? and have no life. Even if I was a sociopath, does that mean I'm unworthy of love? Like, but I'm not. It's just a way so they can scapegoat me and villainize me and just say I'm evil and a monster. It's just their way of scapegoating me. Like, even if I was, oh, okay, like, oh, did somebody have to wear the fucking scarlet letter if they're a sociopath? I mean, I'm not, but okay, if I was, I mean, who gives a shit? Somebody says, who is they? Occasional people on my channel will try to push that narrative, but I shouldn't even take the bait. I shouldn't even react to that. I shouldn't even react to it. I should just silence them. It was the same person that said about Tarasocial making money from my music. It was the same person. It's just a troll that wants to get me to flip out. Yeah, and they did. They successfully rage baited me. Congratulations. Twice. First about Tarasocial, the second about having no empathy. Congratulations, you did it. Gina asks, "Can I come over and hop in your swimming pool?" Yeah, I would really love to hop in my swimming pool with a cute lady. But I don't. It's my parents' pool, so I don't know if they would be okay with it. But I would love to hop in the swimming pool with a cute lady. That's for sure. It's kind of like what they do. They say, "Oh, he's a monster," and they scapegoat you, and they basically, if they make you out to be the evilest of evil and the problematic one, and they control the narrative and they villainize you, it's easy to justify bad behavior because if you're a monster, you can do whatever you want. And what better way to make somebody appear like a monster than say they lack empathy, they're a sociopath, they're a psychopath, and that way, it just nobody likes sociopaths and psychopaths because sociopaths and psychopaths are seen as evil people. So if they push the narrative you're a sociopath or a psychopath, it gets people to look at you negatively. Somebody says, "How's your father doing?" I'm trying to think. Did I speak to him today? Maybe I should go up to his house. So he says, "Did you?" I called the SOAR program. I tried. The lady is supposed to call me back. I think it's after hours, so I'll have to call back Monday. But I guess I could. I guess I could go to the open mic. I guess I could go to the open mic. So he says, "Yeah, go to your father's. It's a far drive, but I mean, he's obviously maybe I don't want to have him come to me, but maybe he could come to me. Maybe we could go to a Chinese buffet and get some Chinese hibachi. I mean, I kind of want to see him because I literally have nothing to do tonight. Not to say the reason I want to see him is because I have nothing to do tonight, but I kind of want to do something, and that's a good idea. Maybe I'll give him a call and ask if he wants to get some Chinese hibachi." So, no. I mean, the Chinese buffet has this hibachi table where you throw some meat and onions down. Yeah, I know. Japanese is hibachi. I'm not trying. I know the Chinese buffet has a hibachi table too. Oh, here we go. One sec. Who's calling me? It's probably my mother. Hello? Yeah, I'm on live. Can you hear me? Do you want to do artwork or not really? Okay, yeah, that's why I was calling. And also, do you have the milk? The milk. You said you had a yeah. All right. Talk to you later. Yeah, I'm on with the impatience. So don't. I mean, yeah, don't say. I did. I did. Yeah, yeah, I did. I did hear about what you said. All right. I'll talk to you later, Mama. Bye bye. Yeah, she was kind of being a little nasty. I don't know exactly why, but all right, guys. It's just I can't imagine why. Yeah, I mean we're just codependent, hostile dependent. We're always fighting. It's just hell here. I know the psychopharmacologist described it as a real powder keg. You know, no, but nobody's having the time. I mean, I don't know if my mother and stepfather are having the time of their life in their part of the house when I'm not around, but I'm certainly not having the time of my life here, and they're certainly not having the time of their life here. You know, so it's certainly not living the dream, being dependent on your mother and stepfather at 38 years old. You know, it's certainly not living the dream. Somebody says, you say, I mean, let's put it this way. My mother comes in here today to clean, and obviously, your mother. I mean, obviously, they say, "Why don't you clean for yourself?" Your mother's coming in here to clean as a favor for you, but she's saying all these things to trigger me, to get me to react. She's making all these passive aggressive comments. She's saying all this dog whistling, and I can't even put it into words. I mean, it's just a barrage of narcissistic baiting. It's just a barrage of things designed and disguised to get me to flip out. And she knows exactly what she's saying. She knows exactly what she's doing. And I'm being passive. I'm being a goody two shoes. She's trying to rile me up. She's trying to get under my skin. It's just what she's doing. And so I realize, my mother is frustrated by me too, but she rage baits me. She rage baits me, and she knows exactly what she's doing. It's not delusions. She knows. I shouldn't react to her narcissistic baiting. I shouldn't do reactive abuse, but it's without a doubt intentional. She intends to try. She intends to rile me up, and don't let her. No, I'm aware I'm diagnosed as having schizoaffective, but my mother's also a covert narcissist who says these dog whistling and covert and narcissistic baiting to get a reaction out of me. That's without a doubt what she's doing, without question. I'm not saying she doesn't love me in her own way, but yeah, whatever. I mean, she does. Okay, so I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think like what is she doing to do narcissistic baiting? Well, she comes in here. She's basically telling me, Andrew, you need to go. She's telling me. Like she's telling me like what a loser I am, what a burden I am. You know, she's making all these, disguised comments about like sexual frustration. It's just she knows what she's doing. She's dog whistling me. She's doing narcissistic baiting. It's not schizoaffective disorder. It's just she tries to intimidate me. It's not my illness. It's not my illness. She knows what she's doing. I mean, even if I was deciding, somebody says, just whatever. Let's just change the topic. She knows exactly what she's doing. I don't care if anybody believes it or not. Somebody says, even if it's true, even outside of that, though, you show clear signs of psychosis. That's a fair point. I show clear signs of psychosis, even if my mother is narcissistically baiting me. Somebody says, Andrew, you're sick and you need medication. All right. Maybe I'll bop on up to my father's place. Or maybe I'll do the open mic tonight. I mean, like, should I do comedy tonight? Should I do comedy tonight? I don't really feel funny, but I was looking at the page and it looked like there were some women that went last week. So maybe I could get out there and I don't know. Yeah, somebody says, why bother going? You'll immediately leave. Somebody says, what do you think women would like about you? I don't know. Oh, Erie, long time no chat. This is an example of how I feel when it comes to women. In my 20s, I chat with women online and I had girlfriends, although they were fleeting. But now at 38, I have nothing to offer. I have no money, I'm dependent on my parents, and I'm severely mentally ill. Now I've lost a lot of confidence. I feel like everyone looks at me critically. I feel like every woman is going to reject me. My social skills are awful. It's like I'm damaged. But I don't want to stay away from women because I want a girlfriend, but you know. But yeah. Somebody says maybe you need proper meds. Somebody says no women want a man who offers nothing. I mean that's true. I mean, no women want a man who offers nothing. That's for sure. Nobody wants a disabled adult child who's getting taken care of by his parents at 38 years old. Nobody wants that. So find something to offer women, I guess. No. Nobody wants what I'm doing, and so get motivated, come back with determination, make my life happen, and you know. All right, guys, I think I'm gonna hit the bricks, hit the dusty trail. Thanks for watching. Somebody says Julie has a good point. Somebody says women don't want a man who offers nothing, and basically you offer nothing. You have to find something to offer, ladies. You have to find something to offer, ladies. You got to find a way to show you're desirable, and you got to find a way to attract them. And obviously, if you get a part-time job, maybe you could find another, person working there who. All right, guys. Let's change the topic towards how I can work towards getting independent, how I could work towards progressing my life, rather than indulge these fantasy daydreams about pop stars. Forget pop stars for a while. How can I work towards getting independent? Somebody says, you know what you need to do, you refuse to do it. Pop stars aren't in love with me. Pop stars aren't torturing me. And frankly, just stop talking about pop stars and just talk about what I need to do to make my life happen, which is go to the SOAR program, get a part-time job. And you're not going to be getting a job as a talk show host, as a radio shock jock, as a podcaster, as a movie star, as you're not going to be getting a celebrity rich and famous job, even though. So get a realistic job, and and I say take your prescribed meds, get a job stocking shelves. Somebody said, yeah. And get motivated. Get motivated. Somebody says, do your parents push the psychiatric medications, or are they going easy on that now? My mother was just pushing a mood stabilizer today. She wants me to add a mood stabilizer to the Abilify. Erie says, you look out of it. Is all okay? I don't know. I think so. Maybe I just didn't get enough sleep last night, or I don't know. I guess everything's okay. I just had a bunch of coffee, so maybe that's getting my mood a little shaky. And my mother was just fighting with me all morning. I had coffee, and my mother was fighting with me all morning. So I think I'm kind of shaky right now. I need to calm down. I need to toggle down a little bit. So avoid my mother. Maybe have some warm milk. Maybe go for a walk. Maybe do things to calm my emotions a little bit. I know that to take a mood stabilizing medication, but I mean, do things to naturally calm your mood. You know. So I am very capable of regulating my moods. In fact, I did a great job controlling my emotions today. I didn't react. I mean, I could have. I mean, I didn't curse my mother out. I didn't do anything destructive. Somebody says you reacted on social media. I had a rant on social media and on videos, but really that's cathartic for me. That's like mental health. That's like a diary. I mean, what what am I supposed to internalize that? It's good to let it out in some capacity. I mean, it's better. I mean, it's better. It's good to let it out in some capacity. and not in bottle up emotions. So he says, let it out in healthy ways. Bottling up your emotions and frustrations are just going to lead to, bad things. That's not good. Somebody said, well, in a way, my social media is like a public digital diary. Somebody says journalizing and keeping it private is far better. You run to social media. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I feel like my social media is kind of like a public digital diary. All right, guys. I think I'm going to take off here. I appreciate you for having watched. I appreciate you for having watched. So it's a boring stream. All right. I mean, even if you thought my stream was boring today, well, I mean, I'm sorry. Kit says, the frustration of not having a girlfriend must be hard to deal with. Yeah, I'm very frustrated I don't have a girlfriend. We got Victoria in the house who says, I just got here. Okay, I'll stick around for a little bit. I'll stick around. Julie says, hi, Victoria. Erie says, hi, Victoria. So how you doing? How you doing, guys? How are you doing? How are you doing? Good to see you. All right, let's change the subject to something a little bit more fun or lighthearted. Or who is Victoria? Somebody says, Victoria, you're a queen. How Victoria says she's doing great. How am I doing? I'm doing better. I'm calming down. I'm doing all right. Who says, I've heard of this Victoria. She's an icon. She's an icon. First off, is she related to me? Is she related to me? What is your age, gender, location, name? Tell me more about you. All right. No, the reason I'm asking is because I have a cousin named Victoria who I haven't talked to in like 20 years, but I was curious if it's my cousin. She's a woman in California who's 28. Oh yeah, so that's not definitely not my cousin. So yeah, it's good to see you. How do you like California? How's the weather in California? It's kind of a nice day today. It's kind of a nice day. I'm hearing crickets outside. It's a little warm. It's cooling down. Yeah, the summer's coming to an end. How was everybody's summer? Yeah, my summer was pretty boring. I didn't do anything too fun. Like they say, I mean, it's kind of just like everything else. You got to make things happen. You got to make your own fun. You can't depend on girlfriends, friends to make your fun for you, or your parents. You have to make your own fun. You got to make your own life happen. If you depend on your parents, girlfriends, or friends to make your fun for you, well, when everybody goes away, you're going to be stuck sitting solitary. So maybe if I want to go to the beach, go to the beach, you know? If I want to go to an art gallery, go to an art gallery. I don't need a girlfriend to take me there. Somebody says, "Why do you think your cousins or mom or pop stars are mocking you? Why do you think they hate you? What did I do?" I don't know. Maybe I'm trying to look for somebody to blame the failure of my life on. Maybe I'm looking for somebody to villainize. If I find somebody who's responsible for my life having been a nightmare for 20 years, I guess like they say, it's the bane of my existence, soupe du jour. Sometimes I like to blame all my problems on my father. Sometimes I like to blame all my problems on my mother. Sometimes I like to blame all my problems on my stepfather. Sometimes I like to blame all the problems on the bullies from my childhood. Sometimes I like to blame all the problems on, psychopharmacologists who over medicated me. Other times, I want to think there's a secret betrayer, maybe like a cousin who betrayed me. And if I discover that's true, maybe I'm like, that's the reason my life has been a nightmare. But they say take accountability and blame yourself, because you're also to blame. And there's not one monster, there's not one person to villainize. It's shades of gray. There's lots of people who are responsible for your life being this way. Blame yourself, they say. Blame yourself too. I'm to blame as well. Blame yourself as well. It would be nice if there was like this one person who pulls off the mask and says, "I'm Satan. I'm the reason your life has been a nightmare. I'm the monster. I'm the persecutor." And I could blame everything on the person and completely scapegoat them. But that's not so. There's lots of people who are responsible for my life being this way, myself included. This was a literal conversation I had in psychiatry. It was advice I was given by my psychiatrist. So, if it sounds delusional, then the psychiatrist is delusional, because this really isn't my words. This is more a therapy session I had, and I'm kind of like roughly quoting the psychiatrist. No, the psychiatrist said, you like to blame everybody else, and obviously the bullies affected you. Your parents never intended to hurt you, but they've hurt you in some ways. Lots of people have hurt you in life, because that just happens. But you also have to take accountability and blame yourself. And there's not one monster. There's not one bane of your existence. There's not one sadistic persecutor. And every day it shifts. Some days you want to blame everything on your father. Other days you want to blame everything on your mother, and so on. That was more the conversation, not so much that blame everybody else. Yeah, I need a good therapist. I'm looking for a good therapist, but I actually have one. So, but I mean, somebody asks about the therapist I currently have. The sessions are a half hour. I mean, he's okay. I don't think I wouldn't say he's the best in the business. He's a clinic. He's a clinic. I don't know if he's even a social worker. I mean, I mean, he's suggesting the SOAR program. I mean, I don't want to criticize him. I mean, he's doing a fine job for a half-hour session, but you know, I mean, he hasn't given me any bad advice, but a lot of the advice he's given me I know already, and I don't know. I mean, it's just. I mean, I think the guy is fine. It's just I kind of feel like it's kind of a waste of time. I feel like I need some extensive, very serious therapy. Somebody says maybe you need some inpatient therapy. No, I don't think I need the hospital. I'm not a danger to myself or others. Somebody says I have negative energy. Well, I'm really frustrated. I'm really depressed. I don't like people seeing me with negative energy, but I definitely am frustrated and depressed. So somebody says, have you ever considered voluntarily going inpatient? Um, I don't really want to go inpatient voluntarily. I mean, it's hell in the hospital. Why would you go into the hospital voluntarily unless you were suicidal or something, which I'm not. I don't know why you would go there unless you were literally a danger to yourself. I mean, I could go to a psychiatrist and ask for more medications, but I don't want to be on more medications. So there's really no reason to go into the hospital voluntarily unless you're a danger to yourself, which I'm not. Why would I go in there? It's a nightmare in there. So this I mean, anybody. I mean, you don't know what a nightmare it is in the hospital. I don't know if you've ever been in there or not, but it's a nightmare in there. You don't want to go in there. It's really the last resort. It's the worst case scenario. You go into the hospital if you're a danger to yourself or you're a danger to others. That's basically the reason you go in there. Otherwise, you handle it uh, outpatient. Out, yeah, outpatient. Otherwise, you handle it outpatient. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend going in there unless people think you're going to harm somebody else or yourself. Somebody says, "Was it scary?" Um, well, you lose your freedom. I mean, certain people seem like they could potentially be dangerous. Realistically, what I did was I just lied on the bed. The food was pretty awful, and you just over medicated, and I don't know. I mean, I don't think I was ever scared. Maybe I was scared. I don't know. Like there was some guy who was shadow boxing in there who seemed dangerous. He didn't assault me, but he seemed like he could have potentially have done that. I wasn't really scared though. Um, I don't know. Certain people seem scary, and you just avoid them. Some people. Julie says you seem scary. All right. Yeah, no, the guy who was shadow boxing was just shadow boxing all night long, and then in the middle of the night he snapped, and I didn't know what he was doing, so I snapped back, and he said, "Did you want to start a fight with me?" That's what you do in prison when you want to start a fight with somebody. You snap. I'm like, I don't want to start a fight with you. So I asked the staff if they could change my room, and they did, and they looked at me like I was the problematic one. And I'm like, no, this guy was fucking out of his head. He was trying to start a fight with me. He was shadow boxing. Mm-mm-mm. There were. I mean, it doesn't seem like these people like me very much. I mean, he was clearly the aggressor. This guy clearly was the aggressive one. Somebody says the mental hospital humbled me. Why not you? Who says I'm not humble? Who says I'm not humble? That's a ridiculous narrative that people push. Andrew's not humble. People have pushed that. I'm like the most humble person there is. People have been pushing that narrative for years. Andrew needs to get humble. What the hell does that even mean? Who the hell says I'm not humble? Somebody says, but don't think there's conspiracies to humble you, and there's persecutors out there who are trying to humble you. That this is nobody's trying. Ultimately, the reason you're sitting in solitude and wasting your life is because you're sitting in solitude and wasting your life. There's nobody who's trying to humble you. Go out there, go to the open mic tonight if you wanna go out there. Go to the open mic. Nobody's trying to torture you. You're torturing yourself. My chains are internal. I think I'm very irate and angry over how my life has turned out. I'm very frustrated how my life has turned out. And I think I'm very bitter over how my life has turned out. Um, and I think that's what you're seeing here. First off, I'm really sexually frustrated. I haven't had romance in, like, I don't know, 3, 4 years. And I'm irate and angry. My parents stonewall me. They don't show me. I mean, I'm just bitter, irate, angry, enraged. You know. So he says, "Are you a virgin? You seem like one." Well, I've had very minimal intimacy, but I'm not a virgin. I have had sex before. Somebody says, "You need to stop with all the big goals. You're not a rock star. Uh, you can't rock like one. Try being a barista. Try being a stock clerk. And try to find a girlfriend. Stop blaming your parents. They say stop blaming your parents. Take accountability. Blame yourself and make your life happen." Somebody says you need to work on getting healthy. You need a life before you have a girlfriend. Yeah, like we were saying earlier in the live stream, what do I have to offer at 38 years old? I have nothing to offer a lady. I mean, if I get, I have nothing to offer a lady. I'm currently on Abilify 10 milligrams. That's it. I mean, some people want me on mood stabilizing medication. Some people want me on more medication. I don't want to be, though. So somebody asks, how did the Cobenfy or Cobenfy or however it's pronounced work for me? It was making me very depressed and nostalgic for the past. So I don't think I liked it. I don't know. I don't know if it was meant to make me that depressed, but it was making me really depressed. Somebody says you can meet a low functioning girl. Try going to the SOAR program. Yeah, I'm gonna try to go into the SOAR program. That's a great idea. In years past, I was taking mega regimens of psychiatric medications, but currently, I'm taking hardly any medication. I've taken mood stabilizing medications. I've taken antidepressants. I've taken antipsychotics. You name it, I've taken it. Currently, I'm not. I got so fed up with medication that I'm just not taking hardly anything besides the Abilify. So he says you stop taking meds and you're feeling depressed. You see a correlation there. Interesting theory. You think maybe the depression is untreated. I don't know. You know, untreated mental illness, maybe. Julie says yes. I think it's untreated mental illness, and you need to work on getting better. Meva says yes. It's untreated mental illness. I don't know why I feel like mental illness is not real. I mean, it is real. I'm diagnosed as schizoaffective. I feel like it's so somebody once. I mean, it is real. I mean, obviously, depression is very real, and psychosis is very real. But I feel like you can recover from these things without the use of psychiatric medications. That's what I'm trying to say. I think. I'm not saying it's not real. I misspoke there. Mental illness is very real, and I suffer from it. But I feel like you can recover from these things without the use of psychiatric medications. So he says, how's that working out for you, though? Julie says, medication helps with mental illness. So people seem to feel I need more meds. Fair enough. Somebody asks, how's comedy tonight? I could prepare to do stand-up comedy tonight. I'm not feeling too funny. I'm feeling kind of down. But maybe there'll be a cute woman there. Somebody says, what do you have to offer a cute woman? I don't know. I mean, at least just getting out there, socializing, engaging with people might be a good idea. The open mic is going on tonight. So, Kit says, many mentally ill people don't know how crazy they are. Erie says, you've been relatively stable on the 10 milligrams of Abilify. Thank you, Erie. I'm glad you find me stable. Julie laughs at me being stable. She doesn't think I'm very stable. She thinks that's ridiculous, but okay. La 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 la. All right. Anybody have any last questions, or should I peace out, hit the bricks, hit the dusty trail? Somebody says, you're not punching holes in the wall. Yeah, it's true. It's been a while since I've punched a hole in the wall. It's probably been about a year now. That's progress. I don't know why. Maybe the Abilify did that. Or maybe I've just recovered from, I don't know. I deserve a pat on the back. I was pretty reactive for a while in doing that. Yeah. Julie asks, do you feel recovered? No, I feel very down. I feel very depressed. And I have to make my life happen. So keep going, keep pushing. Erie asks, do you think you'd be ready to spend Thanksgiving with your family this year? I mean, it might be one of my father's last Thanksgivings, so I think so. I think I can. I think so. La, 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 la. Somebody says, "Why didn't you try to?" Okay, guys. I think I'm about done here. Well, my father has a prostate cancer diagnosis, as a lot of people know. I don't know. I mean, it seems pretty serious. I mean, hopefully he's not dying. Hopefully he can get into remission. He's taking the medications and he's doing what he needs to do. But it's not good. It's obviously not good. Cancer is pretty serious. Exactly. So it's obviously not good. So he says, thankfully, prostate cancer is one of the more treatable ones. That's it. That fair enough. Hopefully he's able to get into remission, and we have him around for many years to come. But you know, it's anytime you get a cancer diagnosis, it's obviously a bad thing. Whew. Somebody says, your father takes his medication to be healthy. Why don't you take it? I guess you're right. I guess you're right. All right, guys. This is a pretty cathartic live stream. Thanks for watching. Ultimately, the power is within me to make my life happen. I have to live life. I have to take action, and maybe I'll go up to my father. Go up to my father's tonight. Maybe I've been spending one of my friends coming over tomorrow, but maybe I'll ask my father if he wants to get dinner and we can chat about life and things in general. That's not a bad idea. Just you know, have a conversation with my father. I mean, it would be good. It would be good to have a nice, we go to the Chinese buffet. We grill up some hibachi. We have a nice, like, warm chat about our lives. I mean, I would love to do that. I would love to have a heart to heart conversation with my father. It would certainly be very nice. But yeah. Somebody says, say hi to your dad. Julie says her dad has passed away. Cherish your father. No, I know, I know. Appreciate my father because he's sick and he might not be around. I mean, he's not going to be around. Nobody's going to be around forever. But he's But somebody says, what's for dinner? Maybe the Chinese buffet if I call my father, or maybe my mother's going to make pizza. I don't really. To answer your question, I'm not really sure what's for dinner tonight. Stop with the vegetables. I mean, I know people want to say you're a vegetable mind, you have neurological damage, your brain's pudding. I mean, enough. Stop with the rage baiting. I'm insecure about that. You know, that triggers me. You know that I'm insecure that I have neurological damage. So I said, I mean, I don't know why Meva would say vegetables for dinner. Okay, whatever. I know some people literally have vegetables for dinner, and I like vegetables. Vegetables are good; they're healthy, especially if. But I feel like it's dog whistling, and they really mean vegetable mind. Yeah, don't react to it. I know they would say it's ideas of reference or predicate logic. Somebody says, I'm just guessing. Maybe you really want vegetables. Maybe you're really having vegetables with your dinner. Maybe your mother's making you a salad. It doesn't mean so. Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks for having watched. I did about an hour here. Yeah, I mean, people can see I'm really irate. I'm really in a rage over how my life has turned out. I'm really angry, but only I can get myself chipper and more happy. Only I can turn my life around, you know. All right, adios, guys.